Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 273 on the 9th of February, 2022. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
It is the 9th.
Yeah, Michael Aston.
Howdy, y'all.
And Jimmy Trammell.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going. What's up with you guys?
Mostly normal stuff. Mostly just, the boring work stuff right now. It's been good. It's actually got sunny today. It hit 55. It's been a while since we had sun in 55 here.
It was actually, nice. I think, in the 30s yesterday.
I mean, I had to take off my jacket. It was actually warm.
I actually went outside for more than just to, throw something in the trash can. I run back inside.
I have a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It snows a lot, right?
It depends.
Okay. It can snow a lot,
yes.
Right? How does trash handle seeing snow drifts where there should be a trash can?
Well, do they
expect you to go out there and shovel your trash can?
Well, number one, the trash can is by my garage until I wheel it out to the street.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But maybe you do it the night before and then crazy amounts of snow and drifts and it's at least half covered. Do they still handle it?
Yeah, because it's not like they get out and do it by hand. The truck has this giant arm that grabs it, and they'll just knock it over if they have to and pick it up and shake it all over the place. Whatever it takes. I mean, there have been many times where when they're putting it back down, they don't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen my trash bins laying in my driveway.
Well, sounds like it might be a good market for a heated trash can.
Yeah. There you go.
Luckily, I don't generate a lot of trash, so my cans only go out maybe once or twice a month.
Oh wow! Okay.
I mean, I eat at restaurants.
Oh, okay. You produce very small amounts of trash.
When you're cooking for one, it's kind of pointless to cook. So yeah, I don't generate a lot of trash. So I get to pick and choose. When the weather's not bad or not that good, I will just be like, it can wait. Wait till next week.
Gotcha. We also have the guy with the arm that does the trash thing, and apparently when they set it down too hard and broke my trash can, they went ahead and said, "We're sorry, we broke your trash can. We'll get you another one next week." It's like, okay.
Well, it's not. I don't know why they're apologizing. It's their trash can.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe they're apologizing because we don't have a trash can to put trash in for a week. But whatever.
I gave one of those trash cans away on Facebook Marketplace because when I moved into this house, the previous trash company, their can was still here. Mm-hmm. And I kept calling them saying, "Hey, come get your can. I don't want it." and after a year of this thing still being here, I just went on Facebook Marketplace and said, "Hey, anybody want this rolling trash bin? It's on the corner. Just take it." And it disappeared within a half hour.
Excellent. Nice. Unfortunately, they have those serialized, and they probably found out who had.
I told them,
you
and
tried.
I even talked to the local trash guy for that company. I flagged him down and said, "Hey," and they refused to call me back. And it's like, all right.
Well, you try. Well, it's nice to know that you were able to put the trash in the trash, or actually recycled it. It's even better.
Yeah. All right. What else are we recycling this week?
We're recycling all kinds of horrible news. Hey, so last couple of weeks, maybe last week or so, there's been a lot of buzz going around with the company Spotify and their streaming service. There's some controversy going on, specifically with the Joe Rogan Experience. We're not going to get into that, but we are going to talk a little bit about how this affects Spotify themselves. There's been a lot of people who've been doing the various, leaving of the service, or at least purporting to, and there's been a little bit of discussion about what is the right thing for Spotify to be doing or not. What I want to know is this kind of stuff going to be something that affects you guys in any way? Is it going to make you less or more likely to use the service? Is it going to be something that maybe like me, or I'm personally in the position of, I really hate any podcast that's only on one platform. I kind of wish that Spotify did not purchase podcasts, quite frankly, like that. But that's only because I don't like that idea. But
Spotify has been trying to drive me away for a long time, as we've covered, by their absolute triple, quadruple down on podcasting. In regards to this whole thing, one of the things that I want to remind people is Spotify is not an American company.
Oh, it isn't?
No, they are.
Where's the
Sweden.
Oh, I didn't know.
So they are very used to kowtowing to political pressure, because that's, the.
I thought the Sweden like case stays away from all the politics. They're.
But that's what I'm saying is, they're. I'm trying to think of an easy way to put this that doesn't come across wrong. I mean, they're used to being told that if they're told you better do something, then they better do it. They don't have the backbone, for lack of a better
Socialist.
word, that like many American companies have.
I've had this cough for a while.
I know. But it's not like they've got that American spirit where they'll stand up and be like, screw you can't tell us what to do, because that's not part of that culture. But yeah, I think the whole situation is stupid, but
I don't disagree.
But and it's not there was nothing even said that was wrong. There was no statements. There was no anything. But you've got, it's like, whatever. Said, I've not been happy with the service for over a year now. It's just getting worse. So, everyone that's,
my feeling is, maybe they'll have a decline in some subscribers, right?
Well,
but they're not going to lose all their subscribers.
They're already having a decline in subscribers, because they're pushing everybody away with the podcasts. I was there for music, not podcasts, and you're making it very hard for me to get the music. I don't give a crap about your deals or these other special people. I mean, that has no impact on me.
Would it be? Would you prefer if the Spotify did have a music service and a podcast service that you could use one or the other?
I'll chime in here. I think that I don't think there's any need to separate them out. I do think that there should be controls in the system for things that you do and don't want to see. If you don't want to see any podcasts, you should be able to flag something that removes podcasts, and all you would see is music, especially in a company where you started purely as music. When you start adding in other things, make it so that people that have been there for a while can have a similar experience to what they are used to. And in a lot of cases is exactly what they want. Most people have another way to consume their podcasts. And so kind of force feeding it into them and muddying the waters. Maybe over time you slowly bring it back, but I think that you give the users control. The other thing you did ask whether or not we thought that they should be exclusive. I think, in my opinion, should a podcast be exclusive to a certain platform? I would never prefer that. I would always prefer to be able to get my content from any source.
Right.
But, that's totally unreasonable because, I don't expect to be able to watch a Wheel of Time that was produced by Prime and was a Prime show on other platforms, at least not in the near term.
Right.
Maybe long term that becomes more readily available in other sources.
Yeah.
But it just makes sense from a business perspective to keep content exclusive in certain scenarios. So while it's never the optimal for the viewer and for the consumer, it makes sense from a business perspective. So I think that, let it be.
Yeah, I mean, and that's up to the podcast. I mean, if Uncle Leo came along and asked us, flash some money and said, "Hey, why don't you come join his network? No longer in the brick house."
We'd sell out.
Would we do it?
We'd sell
Probably.
out.
I mean, what do we got to lose?
Leo, we would do it for cheap.
Hey, don't tell him that.
Yeah, careful. My understanding is correct. He'll take it for cheap. So it's okay.
And I mean, and I use that as an example because, I have no desire to be on that network.
Right.
I have no desire to be beholden to a single master that then does have creative control and is able to dictate what I can and can't say. But from a business standpoint, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, probably would be great.
And so, but also to the podcast, like them pushing the podcast on Spotify, you got to remember they invested a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And they need a return on their investment, which is why they're pushing the podcast so hard and alienating, potentially to the point of alienating their core customer, which is probably something that we're gonna talk about in another story here in a minute. But it's always a risk. You do something new, you have a new focus, and you're probably going to lose your base. Hopefully that just lets you reset and you can rebuild under the new.
This is why it's just so simple to me. Spotify keeps doing their thing, and they also have a Spotify podcast app. Make a separate that one half step away, and then make it so if you want to use the single app, here's a way to do it. But if you want to have them separate, you can have them separate, and that way you can keep both sides of happy and everybody happy. If you're one of those people who wants all of that.
But see, from a business perspective, that doesn't make sense for a lot of reasons. First, you have the cost of maintaining 3 separate code bases for 3 different apps. But from a brand perspective, the intention, the belief is, the business bet that they've taken is that long term, while they may lose some pure music subscribers, they are going to bring in more than enough podcast subscribers to cancel this. This is why they picked somebody like Joe Rogan with like almost 12 million subscribers on YouTube, right? 11 something, is because he brings so many potential customers with him. And so they're trying to bring in more users than they're going to lose. They accept they're going to lose some. They hope that those people will come back in the future when it proves that Spotify is still the best place for music. And they maybe work out some of the kinks of the interface and stuff. And, right now, like Clyde said, they're pushing podcasts really hard. That can go down over time once they get enough podcast users, but they want it to be front and center for those new users that are there just for the podcasts.
Fair enough. That's true. All right. Well, how about we move on to the next story? How about we talk about Microsoft just shortly after what probably has been reported as a huge, it's amazing how well that Meta is doing with their Oculus Rift, Oculus Quest 2 headset. You know what I mean? It's doing so well, selling like gangbusters. It's like the finally we're seeing VR kind of step into the limelight. And we have a report here saying Microsoft has reportedly killed off the HoloLens 3, the next version of the HoloLens. It's not happening. That's right. They've decided that the company is too divided and they need to strategize on a single thing. And that one thing is what they're going to do. Absolutely everything it's all true. It's all being thrown away. It's nothing's ever going to be done with the HoloLens ever. Oh, wait a second. There's another story here saying that maybe that's not true. Oh,
no, it's not dead. They're just not going in the direction that they were going to go.
Okay.
It's called a pivot.
You know, I really hate somebody taking a story of some kind and blowing it up to a proportion that is way beyond normal. Similar thing happened recently with Stadia, where a pivot has happened or something small has happened.
It was, that was the thing where they were talking to Peloton and Bungie about licensing their technology, the Stadia technology.
And everybody has taken that story as if Stadia it's dead in the water suddenly. And it's like,
it's like, no, that was the plan from the very beginning is, hey, we're developing a thing that we can then license to other people to use. Right. We are doing the beta testing using the gaming customers.
Right. And somebody did the math. They think that they had 750,000 customers on Stadia at one point, at least. And maybe they still have that. And maybe they have more at this point. But somebody actually figured that out.
As of this week, that original story about them licensing it to Bungie and Peloton is hilarious, considering Peloton is on the verge of bankruptcy and Bungie just got purchased by PlayStation.
Yep. Good job, Stadia. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe they can not spend that money and put it in somewhere else. I don't know.
Oh, and on the Bungie thing, to all of you that I keep seeing screaming and hooping and hollering that Halo's coming to PlayStation.
What? No.
Bungie made the first Halo games, but Microsoft owns Halo.
Right.
It's not going to PlayStation. Sorry.
It's not. I mean, the only way it would go to PlayStation if PlayStation decided to allow Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation. And that's never going to happen. Sure, Microsoft. Go ahead and let's let people spend money on our platform and you get all the money. Maybe we'll get a cut. I don't know. Yeah. No, Sony won't do that until they're desperate. No.
So. Sorry for the
anyways, HoloLens reportedly dead, not dead. That's if you've heard that it might have been dead, maybe not. I bet you anything they're just re-examining. I actually bet you they're trying to make it a better competitor with the Oculus Quest instead of what they have been doing.
I mean, obviously, I guess it's clickbait to say, oh, they killed it or whatever. But I think it's got more to do with them buying Activision, right? So that caused that's what caused the pivot in the development of this mixed reality.
So you mean we're not going to be able to play? We're not going to be able to play Hearthstone using the HoloLens 3?
I so want to.
I mean, the thing is,
you didn't know that it was something that you wanted, did you?
I totally want that.
Yeah. The thing about the HoloLens that's been the challenge with it is that it was built really focused on the business consumer.
Yeah.
And the reality is that there's just not that much value for augmented reality in a typical business environment with the technology and resources available right now, right? So they're trying to build up motivation, but really it's been more of an experiment, I believe, in augmented reality for them to really get an understanding of where the value, where the functionality and features need to be. If you look at the specs from the initial HoloLens, the field of view was very small. It did have a good imagery. It could do some pretty neat things, but it didn't provide any kind of immersive environment. It didn't, like you couldn't sit here and see a 180-degree monitor, like what a lot of people would think would be the kind of thing you would want. So, I think that Microsoft has really been doing this, I think, as an experiment, and they're learning enough to know where they start learning where they need to go with it, and how to maybe start providing some non-business type use cases for it.
Well,
so I think we'll start seeing changes, some pretty
they
significant
said themselves that they purchased Activision Blizzard for the purpose of making this new content for the metaverse. Now, if you assume that for the metaverse means at least a portion of it is in VR, you know that they're going to want to have a foot in VR hardware, because Microsoft likes to have a foot or a head in a VR hardware. I don't know why you need VR feet shoes. I don't make any sense at all, but totally make a title out of that one.
What do you mean? How could you not need VR shoes? Augmented reality shoes. Like, how are you going to feel like you're walking?
How if I don't want to feel
and
like I'm walking? All I'm trying to say is it does make sense, since they've made this huge investment into essentially characters and art for them to explore into the metaverse and try to blow this up, just like Meta is going to try to do.
When you're playing World of Warcraft and you're running across the continent, don't you want your feet to feel like you've run across the continent?
Well,
to feel the aches of your character's feet so you get immersed more thoroughly?
But what about when I fell off the continent and I got stuck and I couldn't get back because I was in a tree like halfway down?
Yeah, that's that feeling where like all of the pressure comes off of you and you feel like you're just floating, except only on your legs down, because
it's like when we were doing that rock climbing VR thing that first year that we paid attention, and then I let go to see what would happen, and they said, why would you do that?
So because you're in VR.
Which was weird because I was standing up and then I started falling thousands.
I was gonna say, I remember that because like when I got to the top, I turned around and I looked at it, I was like, oh crap. Started getting vertigo and like, yeah, not good with this kind of heights. It's thousands of feet down, and my mind doesn't know that it's fake.
Clyde just knows that the spoon isn't real.
No. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a spoon.
You are the spoon, obviously. Speaking of movies, Netflix has announced, kind of like they did last year, that this year will be full of Netflix movies that they're going to make. They said that they're going to be all kinds of new movies coming up for the year, up to at least 70 titles and probably more coming out in 2022. This means that there'll be at least one a week, probably on average. And a couple titles have been announced in there. Knives Out. I'm excited about Knives Out 2, for example. But question is Netflix dead?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Obviously, I actually yesterday I watched the newest Happy Madison movie on Netflix.
Was it good?
And it was great.
Oh.
It's called Home Team. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's based on, if you remember back in was it 2010, 2011, when the Saints coach got suspended for a year for Bountygate. They were putting out hits. Yeah, it's literally the story. It's his story of when he went home and went back to Texas and coached his son's peewee football team. But it gets the we'll talk about it later. But okay. I mean, it was great. It was great. That's probably the first movie I've seen on Netflix for this year. So
it's because you finally were able to get through all the cruft of all the various shows that you've watched before. You don't want to watch anymore.
I have actually tried. I have started trying new stuff on Netflix again, because now I have the ability of, I don't like this, and it's not going to constantly haunt me. And yeah, I started like 4 or 5 different things, and I hated every single one. And then I went back and removed it from my continue watching. It was beautiful.
Wonderful. Thank you, Netflix. All right, cool. Are you guys still excited about new movies and stuff coming through Netflix this year?
The Adam Sandler Spaceman looks pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah, I think, I haven't actually had a chance to go through the list, but what I do think is that I may make it like a new thing for me to try to watch the Netflix movie for every week, because A, it's nice that they give you a movie. B, you don't have to think about what you're going to watch. You just watch whatever it is. And C, Netflix has done a pretty good job, in my opinion. Most of the stuff they produce is entertaining.
Yeah.
Not all of it's great.
Should be.
It's entertaining, even if it's not like a good movie, right? I think that they do a pretty good job. So
I would say they have one job, and one job only. It's to provide entertainment. So yes, I would say the absolute lowest bar is it better be entertaining in one way or another.
Well, I think, yeah, I'll let it go.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, you know what? Amazon Prime has been interesting in the past year or two, because it's a promise for 2-day shipping, right? Or is it 3? 2, 3? It feels like more like anywhere from 1 to 6 or 7 days now, because 2 days is really kind of that promise.
It's always been 2 for here.
Not for me, just so you know. It's also, it's also kind of like got streaming services and access to some music, and you pay once a year for it, which is kind of you can pay monthly if you want to, but unfortunately the price is going up. It's now going up from I believe $119 a year to $139 for a year for the same stuff. This is from the company that just posted record amount of growth this last year or two, and their former CEO has a yacht so big that rumor has it that they have to take down like a bridge to get out of its harbor because it's too big. I don't know.
I think all boats, they have to do that.
All I'm saying is that, yeah, sure, it makes sense. The price is going up. Sure, why not? I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm going to disclose now that I am not a fan of Amazon, and that's okay.
How is he going to fund his spaceship?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think while I appreciate where you're coming from a consumer perspective, they're a business, right?
Yeah.
Like they view things from a business perspective, and for them, they see costs go up 20-30%. They want to raise those 20 to 30% for the consumer and pass those cost increases on. This is the
we're going from $13 a month to $15 a month. It's $2 a month.
Yeah.
That is bearable. And this is also,
but it's unbearable when it was Netflix last week.
But
I didn't have a problem with it.
Hold on. That's exactly what I'm getting at. This is the first time they have raised this price in how many years? Whereas Netflix, this is like the 5th time they've raised it in the last 4 years. So, and that's why it's not. And also, I actually use Amazon Prime. I don't use Netflix. And that's why the Netflix raising is so painful for me, is because it's something that I don't use. And also, I turn off Amazon from time to time. That's why I'm on a monthly, because I don't always order stuff from them. They don't always have something I want to watch. So there are times where I don't. But with Netflix, I was kind of stuck where I couldn't turn it off because other people were relying on it. Right. Nobody else is relying on my Amazon. So
that you know of.
That one's actually pretty easy to know.
Okay.
I agree. I think I do think, for me, I had no problem with the Netflix increase in pricing. That said, I totally appreciate this, especially when you look at like shipping cost increases, labor cost
Materials, yeah.
increases.
Oh yeah,
Material.
Just the
it's
boxes.
It's
the boxes
well,
alone right now.
yeah, that's
has
what I was
gotta
gonna say.
be-
Like, you're looking at specifically what their costs are associated with this is your shipping, your labor, and your boxes and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I mean,
All of which have gone up dramatically.
if Netflix were still sending me DVDs and they raised the price, I would understand that more.
Mhm.
Because there is physical and labor costs that are impacted by economy and everything, outside forces that isn't really there. It isn't the same when they're just providing content that was paid for years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, with regards to Netflix, I'm okay with basically incremental cost increases, which for me, I feel like those cost increases have been relatively reflective of inflation. Maybe a little faster than inflation, but not significantly, especially with like 60% inflation this year. But as long as what they provide continues to add the same amount of value to me, I'm okay with these incremental price increases. As long as they continue to crank out high quality content. The price increases that I've complained about are like Hulu, where they're not producing more content. They're maybe adding some extra content sometimes, but mostly they're increasing the price, and all they have is the same content effectively, because all I care about is the same content that's been going on, and their pricing increases have dramatically outpaced inflation.
See, and that further illustrates my point is you're more, depending on how much you use the platform will dictate how sensitive you are to the increases.
True.
Because like I didn't flinch at Hulu because that's my number one. Anytime I turn on my TV, the first thing I do is open up Hulu. For the last month or so, there hasn't been anything on Hulu for me to watch because nobody is putting out new episodes.
And to be clear, I'm talking about the Hulu TV, which I should say Hulu Live. Regular Hulu, I think their price increases have been incremental enough that they're okay.
They did just Hulu have a
Live
big, price increase.
Right.
Recently.
But Hulu Live, when I first started with them like 3 years ago, was like $40.
Yeah.
Now it's like $75.
Yeah, that's
almost
different.
Doubled in like a couple of years. That to me bothers me. And I will probably cancel them soon. The next time they increase prices, I will definitely quit. Just because it's too much.
That service is different because all of the over-the-top streaming services started out artificially low.
True.
Which was, we knew from the very beginning, this is unsustainable because they don't own the content. They don't have any control over what content is out there. And they have to they basically have to bribe the content owners to allow them to show it. So, and they definitely want their piece of the pie. They don't care if the streaming company makes any money as long as they get theirs. So,
I mean, we're getting really far from this story, but I'll just say one last thing before I let this go.
Yeah. Let him go. Let him go. It's okay. Let him say his thing.
The issue with those is that they really quickly moved to being basically cable replacements, giving you the full features and functionality of cable TV. And in that case, the price had to go up. That's why Sling TV is still relatively cheap compared to the others, because they did give you a much more incremental, they give you a very slim initial package.
They don't have everything.
I've always wanted to be able to pick the 3 channels I watch, because I literally only ever watch 3 channels. So, a la carte, which is what we're getting closer to with Peacock and CBS a little bit of access. I don't even know what it's called anymore, but that's
Paramount
always what I
Plus.
called it.
Pair of amount of stuff.
Yeah. So, maybe in a couple of years, I'll be able to get everything I want from paid services without having any kind of subscription or anything. And I'll pay 3 different services $10 a month and I'll be fine. But not there yet. That's always been the dream, though, for me, because it makes sense. And then I'll end up probably subscribing to 10, paying $100 a month and forgetting to cancel them. But that's the end goal for all subscription services, is sign up and let it, and then forget about us and just keep paying us and not using us.
Huh. That sounds familiar. Next story. Blizzard is talking about World of Warcraft. I'm still paying for that. Okay. Blizzard has talked about World of Warcraft, and they have an announcement saying that they are working to bring the World of Warcraft to mobile, which the only reason why I'm putting this in there is because I'm excited, because I do really like World of Warcraft. I like the character and how that world works and all that. But it's actually not as good as you think, because here's exactly what they said. Blizzard is planning substantial new content for the Warcraft franchise in 2022, including new experiences in World of Warcraft and Hearthstone, and getting all new mobile Warcraft content into players' hands for the first time. That doesn't mean a game. It's an experience. So
they said they're bringing Warcraft to mobile, not any of the specific franchises within that world. They're bringing something from that world. It could just be a stupid like encyclopedia set, like, of whatever.
Well, actually,
that
there is
world.
Here's the thing. There is a World of Warcraft mobile app. It is used by a lot of people to check on their characters and do things like that. It's very, I want to see what's going on. And people have
Like a nanny cam.
People have been
asking at daycare.
Have been asking forever for people to be able to get into that system and play the pet battle game, which is basically Pokemon, on the mobile app. I bet you that's what they do.
Hey, what was the game that just got canceled?
From which company?
Mike would know. It was the Pokemon alternative that just got shut down. And you said something about it.
Digimon?
No, it was using your phone, using the same thing. It was just reskinned Pokemon Go. But it was
the world,
franchise.
the Wizarding World or something like that. Harry Potter.
So they're just gonna take that, reskin it with Warcraft
World of
stuff.
Warcraft.
And then you're gonna run around collecting orcs and
to collect an orc.
Yeah.
Job's done. What?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff in the Warcraft world. There's a lot of things they could
is
do
even
here.
in the Warcraft world, isn't it? Technically
no.
Because I thought they do stuff that's
it's very
crossover.
similar. There's some similarities to the old Warcraft games and StarCraft.
Well, yeah, they're both
in that
RTSs,
they're
not.
real-time strategy games, and when you click on the units, they make funny noises.
Yes,
You can't deny that.
Well, no, I mean
that makes them almost identical.
But they're not in the same universe.
What is because there is that one game that pulled people from the different worlds, and they were all in the same game. Which
Heroes of the
makes
Storm.
It's Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
So they're in different worlds, but according to Heroes of the Storm, it is possible for them to cross over.
Yeah, and according to Heroes of the Storm, they could be pulled into the Nexus, and
That's
the Nexus
the
is
Nexus.
separate
I
from
couldn't
this world.
think of the name.
And in the Nexus, they are no longer in their original universe.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying.
Well, that could be Warcraft content coming to your phone.
Exactly.
Actually, that would be a good game to bring to phone. Hell yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah, there you go.
I can imagine there's all kinds of cool things that they could do with this. So I'm excited to see what they do. I probably won't participate just because I play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and that takes up all the time that I'm willing to allot myself to video games.
He's too busy flying a TIE fighter to care about this.
He seems more like a kind of like an A-wing guy to me.
Yeah, I'm more an A-wing or an X-wing.
I'm an A-wing guy too.
I don't ever play dark side bad guy characters. Just
well, you
also
don't have to be you can fly something that without being part of their mentality.
Sure. Also, an A-wing is practically you sitting between two very big rockets and having lots of dumb missiles under the. It's like lighting a rocket and riding it in space.
I would kill to own a Messerschmitt, but that doesn't mean I share any ideology with the people that originally flew them.
All right. Hey guys. Right now the NBC is streaming parts of the Winter Olympics in 8K VR. That's right. If you go ahead and connect your Meta Quest, Oculus Quest 2, you're going to be able to see some of the various facilities and festivities going on in China right now in marvelous 8K VR. Apparently, the opening show was one of the things on there, and they're going to have up to 150 more hours available for you to watch on it.
You know how they managed to pull this off? Because there's always like bandwidth concerns and stuff with 8K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching.
I was gonna say that's great because that's another 4K of Olympic coverage that I cannot watch.
Yeah, it's easy to provide a lot of bandwidth when nobody's using it, when there's no demand. I don't know.
I normally love the Winter Olympics, and I'm a huge fan. But this year, there's zero desire in myself for watching the Winter Olympics.
You're not down on all the jumper girls that got disqualified for their clothes being too baggy.
Yeah, I'm not into supporting the Olympic Committee at this point in time. The Olympics in any way this year, it's all a no-go.
Okay. I like the ski jump. And curling is kind of fun to watch.
I love watching the skiing, the snowboarding, pretty much everything in the Winter Olympics is awesome.
Anytime you want to watch curling, come on up. I'll take you to a curling club.
Nice.
Where you can sit in the bar and watch down the window everybody out there curling. It's like the U.S. curling team trains here.
I don't know why, but I get a kick out of the guys with the brooms.
Yeah. Pretty much for me, I don't like any of the summer sports. There's a couple. I enjoy watching gymnastics. Occasionally enjoy watching like taekwondo or something like that. But most of the summer sports are pretty boring to me. I like almost all of the winter sports, but like I said, this is a year where I would rather see the numbers pitifully low so that the message gets through that this was a crappy choice.
I like the one where they do the shooting, and then I like the one where they do the snowboarding. But the problem is the shooting one is super boring between the shooting because they're doing cross country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they need to do like James Bond style downhill shooting.
That would
actually
be
doing jumps and stuff and shooting targets.
So, in other words, if you make it to the bottom, you get a medal because otherwise you're dead.
No, you wouldn't die from shooting something while in midair.
No, in James Bond, they were shooting each other. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
So Clyde doesn't want the Olympics. He wants the Hunger Games.
Minus the... Oh, never mind. I was going to say something about Uncle Joe, but never mind.
The Winter Hunger Games.
All right, we have a story here about the fact that if you were hoping to use your 3-month trial for Apple Music, because they did offer a 3-month trial for Apple Music, you unfortunately are not able to get that 3-month trial anymore. They have very quietly come in up and changed that 3-month trial to a 1-month trial. Quite frankly, that's still fine. It's still a free trial of their service. You'll find out within a month whether or not it's worth it to you. So that's good. Yeah. It's just noted if you have been. I know people who love to use free trials to make them last and make them get the most out of as much free stuff as they can. And so it's good to know that this has changed.
Yeah. Just in time for the Spotify subscribers.
That's right.
Well, I mean, which reminds me. Remember back in December where we were trying Tidal? Yeah, that lasted like a whole week for me.
I still have my free trial, my free account. I
never did the trial. I was just using Tidal free, but I found the app so frustrating that I stopped using it.
Okay,
but.
All right, another story for you guys. The United States government and the FCC is working to have U.S. carriers replace a bunch of their equipment. There's a bunch of equipment that's made by Huawei and ZTE. This equipment is considered unsafe and are asking them to replace it, but unfortunately that's not going to be cheap. So it looks like there's the carriers are turning around and asking the FCC for $5.6 billion so they can replace this equipment. They had put aside $1.9 billion to do this, but what does this mean for streaming? This means that it's possible your phone could be losing service because of this kind of forced change in networking across the United States.
I love how when the initial sanctions against Huawei and other Chinese companies were screamed by the media as xenophobic, and now everybody's cheering, hey, let's spend $5 billion because it's a different guy with a different ideology in charge now.
I'm not hearing anybody cheer happiness that more they have to spend money, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty absurd to me, and I find it highly frustrating that, I mean, first of all, any intelligent company making infrastructure purchases with foreign nations that are at least semi-hostile, it's foolish to have invested money there. So that was a stupid move, just plain and simple in the first place. The fact that they have been banned to purchase these products with government provided money, why would we even consider giving them more money to replace the money that we chose not to give them because they were making bad, stupid purchasing decisions? This is beyond stupid. Let the companies fail if they're going to do stupid things like this.
Hey, but on the bright side, you could probably look on eBay and get some good deals on networking equipment, right?
Yeah, as long as you don't mind somebody watching it.
So as far as the equipment goes itself, really there has been almost nothing ever proven to be wrong with it. There's just the possibility of something could be wrong with it. So this is being having to be changed because of a policy.
So that's not totally true.
Okay.
There were many devices that there were proven vulnerabilities.
Yes, that's true.
But not these specific ones, right?
Okay.
Phones and other devices that consumers have used have been proven by these companies and other Chinese companies to have these kinds of vulnerabilities that we're concerned about. Yeah, it may not exist in this specific infrastructure stuff, but there have been plenty of instances of evidence that this could be a problem.
Vulnerabilities, yes, which is different than spying.
Yeah,
correct. An intentional vulnerability is a pretty clear indicator there was intention to spy. Now,
Fair
again,
enough.
no proof necessarily of actual spying,
I'm
but
gonna
proof of potential intention to spy in that we provided a clear way, similar to saying, oh, there's no proof that the CIA spied on people using all of these spyware things that they installed on TVs, but they made sure that the software was there so they potentially could. Yeah, we're going to say that the NSA, sorry, not the CIA, the NSA.
I was like, it better not be the CIA because that is illegal. CIA is not allowed.
They definitely have never spied on any U.S. citizen in the country, ever.
I mean, how else can you monitor the public if you don't have vulnerabilities to?
Because that's the FBI's job.
Exactly.
It's the FBI's job, not the CIA. CIA is only allowed to operate outside of U.S. soil.
Yeah, the same thing could be said about foreign countries using Cisco equipment that we happen to know their vulnerabilities to. So,
well, I mean, it's the same thing in the 80s. That's how we damaged Russia.
Right.
So bad was that the Ericsson. They used Ericsson.
I didn't ever say that I hold it against China for doing this. I understand that all nations do these kinds of things.
Right.
I'm just saying, if I'm building a U.S. infrastructure for telecommunications,
exactly,
I'm not buying stuff from China and Russia
that's the point. That's the point I was getting at. Is we know this happens because we have done it ourselves effectively. Why would you go? Why would you go to an outside company? Oh yeah, because you intentionally devastated our workforce and drove all of the manufacturing out of our country. That's why.
Right. Because it was cheap. Well, I completely agree with everything that's been said.
We did a really good job of avoiding politics.
Hey, we're not
until now.
Story, and then all of a sudden, just boom.
Hey, there was no politics there. That was just straight up.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid it with the eBay crack there.
Hey, okay, so guys, if you wanted to know, there was actually a stream on Disney Plus, a live stream of the Oscar announcements notifications. This was a test that Disney was using in order to see if their infrastructure was able to provide live streaming over their service. So we may be seeing more live stream stuff coming from Disney in the future through Disney Plus, possibly. Could you see a live at Disneyland event being broadcast? Walt Disney's body taken out of its cryogenic frozen thing, and then give you a Saturday night movie introduction by I don't know. Could we be seeing more live events coming from Disney Plus?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think you buried the lead.
What's that?
There was somehow an Oscar nomination when almost nothing was made last year that would be considered for Oscars, and number two, people actually still watch the Oscars.
Yeah.
Last year was the year for that like high school dude to like actually get an Oscar. If there had been a few enterprising high school and college students, they could have had a chance last year. There was not very much produced, and most of it was really not very good.
Anything that was, there was lots of stuff. It just wasn't released intentionally,
right?
Because in a way that would qualify it for an Oscar. But I don't know. I'm just amazed that anybody cares about the Oscars.
Yeah,
it would be like, hey, your local sports team. Hey, let's watch them give themselves awards. Yay! Who's the best catcher as nominated by the catcher?
Yeah.
Some people are totally into that.
The one thing I would say is, yes, I do expect to see more of this with Disney Plus.
Sure.
They've got multiple streaming platforms that provide live.
And they've talked about from the beginning about making live content.
Yeah.
So
far, I don't know of anything that I'd be terribly interested in seeing live, but
what
we'll
was
see.
what
Sure,
was the
there's
show
something.
that Disney did like every Sunday night? What was it? Walt Disney Presents?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could totally
Yeah, it's
see
been
them
a
coming
long time.
back. Want to come back with Walt Disney Presents? I think that would be great.
Yeah, the world of Disney.
The
That's what
World
it
of
was
Disney.
called.
That's what it was.
But
Yeah, we should totally do that again.
that wasn't like a live show. That was just like a show with commentary, right?
it was
You're perfect.
recorded. It was
Okay.
recorded.
It was pre-recorded, but it aired, every Sunday.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let me ask you, Matt, do we care about eye tracking from PlayStation VR?
Oh, we care about it so much we skipped right over it. That's right. Toby, a company that does eye tracking, says that they're in talks with PlayStation to do the eye tracking for the PlayStation VR 2. That was a story that I actually skipped over. I don't know why I skipped over, but that's the whole story. That's right. We might be seeing eye tracking in your next PlayStation VR 2.
So, note, China tracking you via your phone is bad, but PlayStation tracking you via your eye is good?
I didn't say that,
Well,
but it's an interesting suspicion.
It's Japanese versus Chinese.
Oh, okay.
Ah!
So bigotry wins out here. Okay, I see. Gotcha. No, actually, this is. I think it's about time they've got a new VR, because they're still using the original PlayStation 3 VR headset on the PS5.
Right.
So yeah, VR2 is long overdue.
Yep, and it might be able to see where you're looking and thus increase the rendering quality exactly where you're looking while leaving it less where in other places. So it'll be easier for it to do high quality rendering without you don't need the quality in your peripheral. It will be able to possibly see where your eyes are and thus make your avatar look where you're looking, which is really creepy in a weird way when it does that. But yeah. All right, and the last story we have for this evening is Reddit is looking to do something kind of like Clubhouse. They've got a new feature called Reddit Talk. It's allowing users to just open up a conversation on a Reddit page. And what they are doing now is they're making it so the Reddit Talk links become active on the Reddit feed. On the top of the page, so it's easy to find if you are part of a Reddit feed and they're using this feature, and so you can get in and either listen to or join part of the conversation. This is another one of those come join and talk with me kind of things. This is becoming quite an interesting feature in multiple places now.
Just because of the nature of Reddit, I find this truly terrifying.
So I totally want to go to No Stupid Answers.
Yeah, no, I'm fully on board with Clyde on this one. Reddit is an amazing place. It's quite a unique universe of its own. And it should definitely not be something experienced live in real time.
And someone will say, well, Discord, it's the same people on Discord, a lot of the same communities.
Yeah.
But the thing is, each platform has its code of conduct, its acceptable practices, which is why Discord works well for this kind of thing, because there is an expectation of how you present or behave yourself.
Yeah.
It's
completely different on Reddit.
Reddit has actually an expectation based on the Reddit channel you're on. The moderators are usually right on top of it,
and
but a lot of them are very loose.
Exactly, and that is my point. So, someplace like that doing this is very scary, whereas other places, not as much.
Xbox chat has been the butthole of the internet.
Well, that's because there is no standard whatsoever.
Exactly.
But yeah. Yeah.
You know, when there was a story a week or 2 or 3 ago about Clubhouse now letting you to access it through the browser and listen in for free without logging into an account. That was a lie.
Oh.
So I tried it, couldn't make it work. Wasn't going to make an account. So nope, that was a lie. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I was in a war, and Reddit is much scarier.
I'm not scared of Reddit. You must be on different Reddit.
I'm saying that this whole proposition, I find it much more terrifying than all of the nights I went to bed wondering if I will be awake in the next morning.
Interesting.
Okay.
And that is the news of this week.
Yeah, and that brings us to the point where we like to say thank you. Thank you to the people that continue month after month to support us in our endeavor that we call the VOD Squad. As misguided as it may be, both on our part and theirs. But nonetheless, they support us, and we will continue to make this content as long as they support us, or Uncle Leo comes along with a big fat check, and then we don't need you to support us anymore. But until that day comes,
we'll probably still let you support us unless that's part of the contract.
Yeah, but no, I wouldn't. I would feel bad if I'm getting. See, the whole point of people supporting us is we don't have to go look for outside.
That's
so
fair.
if we took on a sponsor, or we took on an overlord with a checkbook, I would
those overlords with checkbooks.
discontinue the Patreon, because say thank you got us to where we needed to be. But until that day comes, which is most likely fantasy, we will continue to accept their generosity.
Awesome.
If you would like to participate or support us, or you want to talk to us, whatever, patreon.com/the VOD Squad. It's very easy. Okay, and rants and rapes. Here we go. Rants, raves. What is going on?
I really don't have too much to rant or rave about, except I think I will briefly talk about the Olympics opening ceremony. 3 things about the opening ceremony. A, it was fine. They reused the same venue they used a couple of years ago when they had the Summer Olympics in China.
You mean last summer?
No. It was like 2008. Yes.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Everything's all screwed up. Yeah.
It was like in Brazil last time.
Yeah. Anyways, but they reused the same, and when they did it there, they had this amazing field with this amazing the display effects on the floor, and it was still amazing what they did there. So that was fine. It felt a little low budget though. Otherwise, like they didn't have very much new stuff to do, and it felt a little low budget on that end. Second thing is, if you want to laugh, look at this year's Olympic torch, Olympic chalice, whatever you want to call it, whatever the Olympic flame, because this year they chose to do something very different, and yeah, I don't know if it was a good choice. I forget what the third thing was. But anyways, all of them I wanted to say is that the Olympics, this opening ceremony was fine. And the third thing is I love how Chinese people do their seasons. Are you aware of what their seasons are called?
Yeah, I think you should use silence as a no.
Fall, winter, spring, and summer.
See, there are 24 seasons. They are
No. I think you're thinking of Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's 24 seasonings.
No,
Because
actually,
KFC is very popular in China, which I understand the confusion.
No, they made it because they instead of having what they did is they instead of having a 10, 9, 8, 7 kind of countdown for the show, they did the seasons and to the start of their calendar year. And I love the fact that they have their seasons with really well named, really beautiful descriptive names. Like, hey, this season is called Clear and Bright. This one's called minor heat. This one's called major heat. This one's called minor snow. This one's called major snow. It's like beautiful names that well described.
I'm pretty sure you're just reading off mahjong tiles.
I might be. All I know is that watching that made me and my wife laugh so hard. Just the namings that they have for it, not because they were funny, but because they were so accurate. They were great.
Yeah,
because everywhere I look, it just shows four seasons in Chinese. Okay, interesting.
It's a list of 24 solar terms.
Right.
Okay.
Anyways, it was hilarious. Awakening of insects. Yes, we hate that season.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Anything else?
Oh, I was going to ask, when did they air? When was the opening ceremony? Because everybody's talking about it today, but I swear people were watching
like
the
a week ago.
Olympics. Oh, okay. Everybody's talking about it today for some reason, which confused me because people have been watching the games for a couple days now. And so I was super confused.
It was on February 4th, and we had recorded it and watched it, but a couple days ago or yesterday, something like that. Just for fun.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch a whole lot, but I have been over the last month or so, maybe 2 months, been watching all of the Marvel movies again with my family per my daughter's request. And so we have gotten through Captain America Civil War. No, the newest Spider-Man, or not the newest Spider-Man, the first of the new Spider-Man. Homecoming. Yes.
Homecoming, the first of it. Okay.
So yeah, it's been really good. There's just some really great movies in there. The Spider-Man ones in particular, I really enjoy. So that's been good. Other than that, still playing Witcher 3. Still a great game. The curse of being a completionist, though, means that it will consume my life probably for another month. Got to do every side quest and every story and find every piece of treasure.
You know, the people who do that, I almost want to come back to them years after they've done it and said, you missed something. Because I want to see the major storyline of a story. I don't always finish games because there's so much to do, and I'm not a completionist.
That one game that I've been playing, the only reason I haven't finished it right now is because there are a couple things that I still need to go back and do to get the correct ending, because it's got multiple possible endings. And I want the correct one that gives the rest of the stuff. Right. So there's a couple things that it's like, all right, I gotta go grind some stuff. And I'm not happy about that. Otherwise I would actually be done with it. 80 hours in, but
only 80. Right. That's it.
Yeah. It's fairly quick moving game, which is one reason I like this franchise, you know? Yeah. So, all right, who's next?
So in the spirit of the Super Bowl,
the what?
Peacock spirit of the Super Bowl.
Oh.
And or what was that one misprint that we had one year?
Superb Owl.
Superb Owl.
Oh, it's because you're not allowed to say Super Bowl. You're not allowed to take it in vain if you are not.
But what if I go go up into my kitchen and get this really big, super big bowl.
What's his name will come after you. Goodall.
So it's like called the
Jane
super big bowl.
Goodall's grandpa, right?
Oh, okay.
Is that Roger?
And thank you for the suggestion there, Wabbit. So in the spirit of the big game, right, that's coming this weekend, Peacock has an original out there. It's kind of a docu-series is what it is, and it's based on Joe Montana, the famous
Not Joe
49ers.
Montana.
No, Joe Montana, the famous San Francisco 49ers quarterback, right? And they go back to, all the way back to, like his high school career, and then his career at Notre Dame, and then he gets drafted by the 49ers, goes through his whole entire career, right? And a lot of good interviews, a lot of his teammates, coaches, that sort of thing there. And if you were a fan, as I was back in those days, then you'll probably enjoy this and all, and especially now that we're in the season of the big game, I think it's worth watching. So I enjoyed it. Right, it's several episodes, but I finished it up at the end of the weekend. I think on Sunday I finished it up. So yeah, if you subscribe to Peacock, go out there and check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Cool. So now I want to see an alternate universe movie where Joe Montana played for the 49ers and Joe Montana was the actor. I want to see what that world looks like.
Joe Montana was in at least one movie, I think. Right?
Yeah. But
as himself.
Were you thinking Dan Marino was in Ace was in Ace Ventura?
Yes, you're right. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because they kidnapped the dolphin.
Yep.
But all right. Mike, did you have something?
You already did it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what I thought of. Okay. So I went to see a movie on Friday. I went back despite my misgivings and my bad experience at Alamo a couple months ago. I figured it's been a few months. They've got to have everything sorted out. So I went back to the local Alamo. It was worse.
Oh no.
I won't even go into the theater, but I saw that new Scream movie because people said I stopped watching the Scream movies after Scream 2 because they just couldn't live up to the original movie. It was fresh. It was, inventive. And everybody kept saying, "Oh, this is the best one. It's back to the as good as the original, enough that everybody came back." So you've got Courtney Cox and David Arquette and Neb Campbell, and everybody's back. And it was like, all right. So I watched it. The movie was terrible.
Aww.
The Home Team, the Happy Madison movie about the Saints coach that aired on Netflix, was way better than that terrible Scream movie. I seriously hope this is the end. I hope this is the last for that franchise because they have, I wouldn't even recommend it for someone to watch on streaming. Just don't. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. Scream. It's still bad.
I scream, you scream, we all scream because this movie sucks.
Oh, and what do you, Matt, to your comment before, what do you get if you mix an elephant and a rhino?
No. He said, so.
No, I'm asking you. What do you get if you mix an elephant and a rhino? Elefino. All right. On that note, thanks everybody for hanging out with us this week. We are here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central on the YouTubes. If you would like the audio version or you would prefer an audio version, you can get it anywhere. We are on Spotify, but we are not only on Spotify because we don't care. We want our stuff everywhere. That being said, if you would prefer the audio version and you would like it much sooner, you don't want to wait for it to launch, become a patron. $1 a month, you get the custom RSS feed, and you get that feed almost immediately after this is done. And I don't know if there's anything else I'm forgetting, but
don't think so.
Stick around for the post show if you are here, and we will vote on the titles. Head on over to tvs.showbot.tv and vote. We'll discuss them in the post show. And if you're watching after the fact, sorry, you have to be here live for the post show. That's, I think, the whole reason to show up live.
I think it's kind of fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Alrighty. Thanks, everybody. We will catch you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.